Peace. Yeah, we back in the building. Um, yeah, I just wanted to come back on and I was just taking a little minute doing a little research and somebody had asked me earlier about Moor and the origin of the word Moor. He said, "Where's the word Moor come from?" And I basically looked up, did a little research. Basically, it says Moor origin Germanic, Old English, and it says Old English Germanic origin. And that's where the word originates from. And then it says, okay, where does the word originate from? It says Moor. More in English usage, a Moroccan, like American, a Moroccan. American is a Moroccan. So anyway, a Moroccan or formerly a member of the Muslim population of what is now Spain and Portugal, of mixed Arab, Spanish, and Asmizide or Berber origins. The Moors created the Arab Andalusian civilization and subsequently settled as refugees in North Africa between the 11th to 17th century. Okay, what does Moor mean in Old English? It says, in a particular location by to fasten a ship, a particular location in a particular location by or as by cables, anchors, etc. It says mooring rope via unrecorded to moor, or possibly borrowed from Mid-Low German mooren, or Dutch to mean moor, or morogen. Are Moors Africans? The term Moor refers primarily to the Muslim inhabitants of the Maghreb, the Iberian Peninsula, Sicily, Malta during the Middle Ages. The Moors initially, peace to James Sledge in the building, peace to Antoine Sylvester in the building. Peace. So yeah, so it's a little brief history lesson. The Moors initially were indigenous Maghrebians, Berbers. The name was later also applied to Arabs. What does being a Moor mean? The origin of English term Moor is the Greek word marvo, which literally means black, blackened, or charred. It has long been used to describe black or very dark things such as marvi, thalassa, which means which refers to the Black Sea, or marvi spilla, meaning black cave. Is Moor a nationality? The Moor Science Temple of America is a American national and religious organization founded by Noble Drew Ali. He based it on the premise that African Americans are descendants of the Moabites and thus are Moorish by nationality and Islamic by faith. Why are Moors called Moors? The Moors were the Muslim inhabitants who lived in the Iberian Peninsula, Sicily, parts of South France, and North Africa in the Middle Ages. In Europe, the word is very often used to talk about people whose ancestors were North African. What race are Berbers? The majority of North African population were west of Egypt is believed to be Berber ethnic origin. Although due to Arabinization and Islamization, some ethnic Berbers identify as Arabized Berbers. Most Berbers who speak Berber today in Morocco, Algeria, Libya, Tunisia, North Mali, and northern Nigeria. So yeah, Antoinette Sylvester, I'm bringing you in on the camera. If you want to come in, you're added. Yeah, piece of James Sledge in the building as well. Appreciate your attendance as usual. So yeah, basically I broke that down because a brother had asked me, the science of the origin of the word Moor, and basically I just wanted to put that information out there for him, just to show, you just do a little Google search, a little Google, research. Not saying everything in Google says 100% right in that, but I'm saying a little Google search, and the basic questions that you want answers to will be right there. So now the brother had asked me about he had asked me basically the science of Moor, and basically if I know the origin of the word Moor, because I guess he wanted to know, born some understanding in his mind. However, like I said, I'm not the Moor specialist, you know what I'm saying? Peace to Ali, Sufain, McAfee Bay in the building. Peace for tuning in. Appreciate your attendance. You're added on the camera. If you want to come in, I'll be adding everybody, but it don't come in. But anyway. Basically, I'm not the Moor specialist, I've been studying the science of the Moors, or Moor science and whatnot, and the science of nationality, to see how it may apply to me declaring nationality for myself. Now, I have declared it as far as declaring the fact of myself being of Moorish descent, as we all are historically, and by bloodline, not by necessarily being members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, which I've just read is a American national and also a religious organization founded by Noble Drew Ali in 1928, which is also an unincorporated association. So, are all Moors members of the Moorish Science Temple? No. Historically, we are all Moors by birthright, by blood right, by descent. We are all Moors in that sense. Not in the sense of us being all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, founded by Noble Drew Ali in 1928. Anybody can be a Moor without necessarily being of the Moorish Science Temple. So in other words, am I a temple Moor? No, I'm not a temple Moor. I'm not of any Moorish temple. You know what I'm saying? So that's a clarification for those who may be misinformed about who I am, or as far as what I'm doing with the science that I'm acquiring and adding on with. So my science is declaring political, historical, and a sense of bloodline from a legacy, a lineage, and a like I say, historical background, not of a religious background, not of a background as far as dealing with the Moorish Science Temple of America, You understand what I'm saying? Like those are what you would consider temple Moors, Moors who attend temples and they have their certain religious orientation. I am not of a religious orientation. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not orientated into the Moorish science based upon religion. I am learning of the Moorish science based upon historic knowledge, historic precedents, knowing that in history, throughout history, we have been acknowledged as Moors throughout history. And even in modern day time, when you go into the records of the Library of Congress, there's something called Resolution 75, and there's also another resolution, 9201 or 9701, or don't quote me on that second resolution, but I do know Resolution 75 for sure. It speaks upon the Moors who settled in Philadelphia, and it speaks about the 5 family names that are acknowledged by like the federal government or whatever the case may be. And those 5 family names are Bey, Day, Al, Ali, and El. You know, Bey, El, Ali, Day, and Al. So, you know, those are the 5 family names. So when we take on family names such as Al, Day, Bey, El, or Ali, and even I've read in some teachings Portia or Pasha, Pasha is another family name, and what other family names will be decided by Moors in modern time, because we being descendants of our ancestors, we come in the name and the blood of our ancestors, therefore we have the right to add on to what our ancestors have done. That's why I was mentioning earlier in my audio that when the sister asks us, well, what should we do, or what can we do, being that we're not U.S. citizens and we're not just readily accepted in Africa as far as our nationality is concerned, so what do we do? I said, well, us being here in the wilderness of North America, I would say we should add on to what our forefathers have done, such as Noble Drew Ali, giving us a sense of Pan-Africanism, a sense of nationalism. Noble Drew Ali gave us a sense of nationalism, or nationality. Malcolm X gave us a sense of nationality. The Father Allah gave us a sense of nationality. Elijah Muhammad gave us a sense of nationality. Even Jesse Jackson tried to give us a sense of nationality as far as defining ourselves as African Americans. But like I say, African American is too broad of a statement, too broad of a definition, as to where it doesn't specify a specific definition or a specific correlation to Africa. So for example, like I say, if we were to call ourselves somebody just said we don't go by their colonizations. I'm trying to peace to Justice Sanu for watching. Peace. Yeah, I appreciate your attendance in the building. Robert Abdullah in the building. Okay. Modi Mancho says that we don't go by their categorizations. It absolutely means nothing to us unless we are in court, and right now we are not. Secondly, they are the devil, was the devil, and always will be the devil. So they won't ever play fair, no matter how good the law is. I agree with that, brother. I agree absolutely. I agree with you on that. And you know, also this is why I do these builds on nationality. Cassandra saying hello. If you want to come on my live right now, you know, you can come on my live. Let's just say new. I'm adding you. If you want to come on, listen. If people are on the thing, I don't know. If you're attempting to come on the camera, then if I add you on, then actually come on. If not, don't have a request, because some people are on here and it just says that they're watching. It doesn't say like to bring them on camera or whatever the case may be. So I'm assuming that whoever it says that you're requesting to come on the camera, and if so, I'm adding you on, but for some reason you're not coming on. So I mean, if you don't want to come on, don't request to come on, because you're taking up my time and I'm shouting you out and I'm putting you on the thing and you're not coming on. So, you know. But anyway, so, you know, going back to what the sister asked, what should we do or what can we do? I would say, like I say, study all these different groups that have declared nationality, that have, you know, brought forth knowledge of nationality. And I say, take the best part and develop your own nationality. Or, I mean, you could get down with some of the nationalities that are already out there, people that have already declared their nationality. If you feel like that's where you fit in, then get in where you fit in. But I would say declare something, because, you know, as a lot of people are saying, pretty soon, you know, they're about to start implementing a lot of this martial law and eminent domain and new one world government stuff and all of that. And I'm not trying to put out no scare tactics to anybody, because I'm not about that. But I'm just trying to, you know, forewarn the people that if we don't come into a status of nationality or some kind of collective acknowledgement, then we will be acknowledged as individuals, treated as individuals who have no collective backing, who don't have a group of people or a nation of people or a landmass of people to back them or to stand up for them, or to say, well, I could go to them and be judged under their jurisdiction more so than be under the jurisdiction of the so-called United States. So that's what we want to come from up under. We want to come under that status of being judged by them, quote unquote. So these same people who we call devils, and we know they're the devil and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So what? We know that. So what we going to do about it? Or how are we going to contest the devil on the levels that we need to contest them? I'm tired of people talking about the white man's the devil. The white man's the devil. So fucking what? We know this. So what? So what? We know this. The black man is God. So what? We know this. So now that we know this, what are we going to do? What does God do? What does the devil do? You understand? Like, we keep talking about the black man is God, the white man's the devil. Okay, so now what? What are we going to do, God? What are we going to do, devil? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, rather I said, we know what the devil is doing. We keep complaining about what the devil is doing. So what is God going to do? Sit back and keep on complaining about what the devil is doing? Or are we going to become educated, highly educated? Not just on some, yeah, you know, I read a few books and, you know, I know about the Moors and, you know, and but I'm not doing nothing about it. I'm sitting back waiting on the Moors to do something, or I'm sitting back pointing a finger about what the Moors aren't doing. Man, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? What are we going to do? You know what I mean? I always pose this question to, like, the Israelites, you know, the Hebrew Israelites who out there thumping the Bible all day, and we the original Israelites, and these fake Jews, they stole our birthright, and, you know, Esau and Jacob in the Bible and all this. Okay, so what? So we know this. So what are we going to do to move on this information? You know, are we going to go to the state buildings and make our claim, put our claim on the record? You know what I'm saying? Are we going to do that? Are we going to do the same thing that these fake Jews have done to claim our birthright? Are we going to compile the religious scriptures and the this and that and go draw it up in an affidavit and go place the affidavit on the record and make our claim? And once that claim is unrebutted, we can stand on that claim as truth in commerce, and that truth in commerce be sovereign, and that sovereign truth become a judgment in commerce as we're exercising maxims of law. Are we going to exercise the maxims of law to make our claim sufficient? Or are we just going to keep standing out here on the corner, thumping the Bible all day, talking about we the original Jews, we the original Hebrews, we the original Israelites, we the original this and original man, and as far as the gods are concerned, we the original man, and we the original this, and we the original that. So let us come together collectively and make a claim, just like all these other people have done. The reason why we don't have no land backing us is because we haven't made no claim on the land. The reason why we don't have nations of people backing us is because we haven't made a claim that we are descendants or we are allegiance to these nations of people. We want to call ourselves Negro, colored, and black and fall in love with these social terminologies and think that these social terminologies have political backing or political identity, and they have none. Calling ourselves black, Negro, and colored, or even African American has no political identity. Like I said, African American would have a political identity or national identity if we made a specific allegiance to a specific nation or a specific country in Africa. So in other words, for example, if we said, okay, we're Nigerian American, we're Egyptian American, or Kemetic American, we are Liberian American, we are Chaldean American, we are Zimbabwean American, we are a specific landmass or a specific country, a specific nation or group of people in Africa in reference to us being American as well. So hence Nigerian American, Sudanian American, Egyptian American, and so forth and so forth. Not just African American. That's too broad of a statement, like I'm trying to explain and educate us on. And if we made a specific tie to America, then it would be more specific, and we could say we're African American, or like I say, more specifically, Nigerian American, Sudanian American, Egyptian American, and so on and so on. Then that would make sense as far as us saying we're African American, and we won't be playing the general specific game. We have to specifically be from a specific nation or country in Africa to say we're African American, not just generally African American. You understand what I'm saying? But just like when it comes to us saying we're American, a lot of times the Native Americans will associate themselves with a particular tribe, which defines them being of a specific people in America or a specific people tied to the landmass of America. You see what I'm saying? So we got to be specific when it comes to nationality and not be so general. So I hope I'm making knowledge born. I hope I'm clarifying things for people. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, we're uneducated in certain areas. And this is why I keep doing these live videos. And like I say, I do them live because a lot of people ain't going to sit down and read this information. I could type up all this information and put it in written form, but who's going to actually sit down and read it? You know what I'm saying? And not to say that everybody is lazy and everybody's not reading, because a lot of people are reading. And shout out and peace and blessing to those who are reading. May your understanding be increased, and may your understanding and overstanding be increased and become more abundant, because you actually choose to study to show your self-approval as a God or as a earth or as an original man or woman, which means you're adding on to the cipher. You're showing and proving that your knowledge is power. You know what I mean? Through your wisdom and understanding. You know, so this is how we add on. So like I say, peace to all of those who are actually doing the knowledge And don't just take my word for it. Any of these things that you hear me say, go look it up for yourself. Go Google these words. You know, that's the new thing. Google it. You know what I'm saying? Go Google it. You know what I'm saying? It's so simple. We have the world of information at the tip of our fingers. You know what I'm saying? So for all you e-gods and e-earths out there, all you internet gods and internet earths out there, take the tip of your fingers and type in certain words and research and add on and do the knowledge, so that now when you're building with the people, or you keyboard gangstering, you can educate the people with the proper knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And not just go off of what you heard, and stop just sharing somebody else's post when they drop some knowledge. Drop some knowledge yourself. You know what I'm saying? Make knowledge born yourself. Peace, Sherry Williams in the building. Yes, yeah, come on. Come in the building. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Like, make some knowledge born, you know what I'm saying, yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, get on here, do a live. And when you do a live, everybody's going to come on your live, and they're going to hear the knowledge that you're dropping to educate the people. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about the more knowledge we acquire, the more educated we become, and the more that we can expand the level of consciousness of the people. Because the more the people are aware, the more we're all on the same page, and the more we're all in the know. And in that way, I don't have to take specific time to do specific videos to educate on specific topics. We will generally all be in the know. So when I drop jewels on specific things, go take the time and research it for yourself. Don't just take what I say on face value. You know, 85% take things on face value. But we as a 5%, we do the in-depth study. You know what I'm saying? So that we can know, and the 85%, the build powers. Because you know 8 is build or destroy, and 5 is power. So the 85% can either build with their power, or they can destroy with their power. And a lot of the 85%, as far as the ones who may be friends of mine, and I don't mean to call you 85% in a disrespectful manner, as far as saying that you're uncivilized, that you're a poison animal eater, that you don't know who the true and living God is, nor your origin in the world, that you are easily led in the wrong direction and hard to be led into the right. I mean 85% in the sense of the fact that you may not be aware, or you may not be in the knowledge of the 5%, or you may not be in the state of awareness that the 5% may be in, as just to the point where at this point in time you just may be unaware. But like I said, you have the ability to build with your power. You have the power to build. You also have the power to destroy. So as this knowledge is added on, you can build on this knowledge, or you can destroy on this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Destroy with this knowledge, meaning by you not doing the knowledge, and by you not adding on, you're destroying, or rather I say perishing, due to a lack of knowledge. As the scripture says in Hosea 4:6, my people perish due to a lack of knowledge. And it goes on to say that because you have rejected knowledge, I shall reject you. And because you have rejected knowledge, I shall reject your children. Now, me personally, I'm not as cruel or so harsh to reject a person because they rejected the knowledge, or reject their children or their oncoming generations because they have rejected the knowledge. Because, as they say, I'm not going to visit the sins of the father onto the child. So because you may have been ignorant as a father to not gather this knowledge, if your son comes about and wants to acquire this knowledge, I'm not going to deny your son because you as his father was ignorant. You know what I'm saying? So the babies are the greatest, and the babies always have the opportunity to learn. So even though we may be grown adults, we may be still babies in the mental sense, because we haven't come to the proper knowledge of ourselves to add on in a positive way or in a positive manner. So in that sense, we are still babies, and also in the sense of us being quote unquote minorities. If you consider yourself to, like one time, right, I was on this job, right, and this dude, he calls himself 7. And see, that's what I gotta stop doing. bedazzled by a righteous name and think just because a person come in a name that they really about this nation and that they really have this knowledge properly. So the reality of the matter is that I come to find out that this brother didn't have the proper knowledge. He was just coming in the name and calling himself Seven. So I assumed that this brother had, proper knowledge of self. But anyway, the point of me bringing that brother up was for the fact of him, as I was building with him one day, he had said something about, as minorities, it's not really much we can do, as minorities. And I'm just doing the knowledge in my mind at the time. Like, I didn't want to, because it was my first build with the brother, so I didn't want to, come at him in the current to, of correction as far as that right there at that particular time. Be like, now Cypher God, we not minorities. And the root word of minority is minor. And a minority means a person who thinks in an infant state of mind. So when you look at the term minority, it means that a person who is of an infant mentality, one who thinks and acts and conducts himself like a baby, or one who is not mature. That's basically what a minority is. So when we say, we're minorities or as minorities, no, Seven, we're not minorities. You know what I'm saying? And there's much we can do as the majority. Because we know that, even though in the 1 to 10 it says 103 million, as far as the colored people, and that we are 17 million with the 2 million Indians, but we know that all over the planet Earth, we outnumber them 11 to 1 because we are 4,400,000,000 all over the planet Earth, and they are only 400 million. So when you divide that 400 million into 4,400,000,000, it comes out to 11. So this is why we outnumber them 11 to 1. 11 to every one. 11 original to every one non-original. So, okay. It says that certain people won't be able to watch the video until they are added. So when I'm adding you, then I guess you're able to watch the video. I guess that's what that's for. But it also says bring them on camera. So I'm adding y'all on the camera, but y'all not coming in. All right. Well, anyway. And I know my statement from earlier when I said if anybody wants to come in on the live and get this work, that doesn't mean that when you come on the live, I'm gonna become that invite to all the naysayers out there. To all the people that got something to say in the inbox, but they don't want to come on here live and get this work. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, if you got something that you want to say, you know what I'm saying, that's in opposition to what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, and you want to just have a little friendly intellectual spar, then we can do that. And I say friendly intellectual spar because I don't want to make it seem like I got all the right knowledge and I'm just all I know everything. I don't. That's why I say I'm open as well for correction. So if anybody feels that or thinks that they have something that they want to correct me on, by all means, come on here and do that. Because, like I said, I'm not exempt from correction. I'm not exempt from question. I'm not exempt from analyzation, as one of the brothers had said in the inbox. One of the gods had said in the inbox. So, yeah, no doubt. So, that particular God, if you want to come on here and ask me some questions or whatever case may be, or blah, 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 you are more than welcome to come on, brother. I appreciate you. And, yes, come on. So basically, as far as, going back to the science of nationality, because, it's now a nation. And a lot of my builds that I do from now on is I'm always going to implement nationality or implement the science of now a nation. because it is definitely now a nation. It's always been now. It's always been now a nation. But now it's like now a nation are in. And the reason why I say that is because not to say that, oh, if we don't declare a nationality on the record as far as with the other nations, that we're going to end as a nation. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that now is the time for us to end all non-national ways. All the ways that we are conducting ourselves that is not of a nation, then we need to come into conducting ourselves as a nation. I'm about to drop a jewel for y'all out there right now. It's something that I want y'all to research. So get your pen, get your Google ready. You know, if you want to write it down, get ready to write it down. And I'm about to tell you. The name of this document is called The Law of Nations. And you can type it up, The Law of Nations PDF. Or rather, I would recommend the one that's on a particular site, the Lionon site or something like that, the Lionon Institution. The reason why I suggest their version of it is because they have it like nicely criteriaed, nicely set up on their site, where you could click on each, you could go through the table of content and you could click on each subsection and they'll pull up the paragraph pertaining to. Because otherwise, if you get the PDF book, the whole book written out, you're going to have to go through it page by page and read the whole, everything to get to it. I mean, they do have a table of content too, but this version makes it easier for you to just click and it goes right there. More so than you have to scroll down, go through the table of content, scroll down and all of that. So anyway, the reason why I bring up this document, as a matter of fact, I'm about to pull it up right now so I can read to y'all some of the table of contents so that you can get in the know of what it is that I'm talking about. And it's called The Law of Nations. Okay. So reach over so y'all can see what I'm looking up. Oh, okay. LOC, Library of Congress. Yeah, but see, I don't want their one though, because the Library of Congress one, like I said, they have it where you gotta open up the whole thing, and you gotta read the whole and now this is downloading. Now I don't want to take so long for it to download. Pardon me, y'all. Bear with me for a minute. I'm just trying to pull up this document. That was the knowledge on the Universal Postal Union, which I was building on the other day. The Universal Postal Union, they are the postal service for the United Nations, basically, in a nutshell. Yeah, pardon me, y'all. Still trying to bring up the right one, the one I wanna look up. I think this might be it under here. Yeah, here it is. This is the one I wanted. Okay, y'all. Sorry for the delay. This is the one I wanted. It's called the Lone Eng Institution. If you go on the Lone Eng Institution and you go on their site, they have Law of Nations, and they have it, like I said, see how they have it here? They got the whole table of contents, and you can just click on which section you want to look up. And as I scroll through these, These are things that these are, look, see, nations or sovereign states, because a nation is a sovereign state. General principles of duties of a nation towards herself. Chapter 3 of the Constitution of a state and its duties and rights. Of the sovereign, his obligations, his rights. So basically, what are your rights as a sovereign to a sovereign state? Elective, successive, hereditary, and patrimonial. So that's pertaining to, matrimonial and patrimonial, meaning like the patriotism, the bloodline of the father, and matrilineal being the bloodline of the mother. So basically, based on those bloodlines, how do we take precedence as a nation? Principles, objections of a good government. First, to provide for necessities, cultivation of the soil, of care of the public ways. So look, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna just scroll through this and y'all can read for yourselves. You see all the different topics here. How a nation may renounce her allegiance to her sovereign. So in other words, like if you're a sovereign of a nation, you could be renounced of that status for maybe violating the constitution of that nation. And you can also what you call expatriate yourself from a nation. You know what I'm saying? Peace to Shadone Matron in the building. Or Matern. I don't want to mispronounce your name. I apologize to anybody if I mispronounce your name. I try to do my best. So yeah, of the common duties of nations toward herself and state. Yeah, so you see all this. So like I said, you could go back and when it pertains to war, different categories of when it pertains to war, what to do in war, neutrality, restoration of peace, and of the embassies, you know what I'm saying? So, all of these different things, all these different topics as far as pertaining to government, how to exercise government, how to operate in government. See, ambassadors, house and domestics, of the judges, ambassadors in civil cases, of rights, privileges, and immunities of ambassadors, public ministers and honors due, of rights of ambassadors, of the observance and breach of the treaty of peace, execution of the treaty of peace. So how do we execute the treaty of peace? As far as for the Moors, they have a treaty of peace and friendship of 1836. So by them maybe studying this document will kind of give them some knowledge on how to enforce that treaty. You see what I'm saying? So this is something that, like I say, nations, any nation, whatever nation you are, Nation of Islam, Nation of God's Earth, whatever nation, Nuwapian nation, whatever, you know what I'm saying? You can use this as a guide to study the science of how governments function, what the duty of a government is, and so forth, and all these different things. Because it's about nationality and about organizing ourselves as a nation. So how do we do these things? Like I say, I'm giving y'all some information on different things you can do. Now let me go into my downloads, because I got a lot of information downloaded, and I'm gonna show y'all some of the different things that you can also use as well when organizing yourself as a nation. Okay. Maybe I got those downloaded on the other phone. Peace to David Hamlin in the building. Appreciate your attendance. Thank you for logging in. Christopher Johnson. Peace, God. Peace. Yeah, God, you ain't been in the building in a minute. Now you back in the building, God. I would love for you to add on. You know you always welcome. Christopher Johnson, he be adding on the science. Word is bomb. So, yeah, so another document to look up is let me pull it up on the Google. Yeah, Google's a good search engine. It's called Diplomatic and Consular Immunity. Yeah, so diplomatic consular immunities. Okay, and just to give a little brief information, what is diplomatic immunity? Because I know I'll be speaking about diplomatic immunity, right? So what is diplomatic immunity? For example, consular officers are not accord absolute immunity from a host country's criminal jurisdiction. They may be tried for certain local crimes upon actions by a local court and are immune from local jurisdictions only in cases directly relating to consular functions. So, in other words, as you having diplomatic immunity of a consular post, because like I say, I was saying about us forming a consular post in Harlem, New York. As we as a Nation of God's Earth, we can form a consular post in Harlem, New York, or whatever region we're in. Whether it's Medina, you know what I'm saying, Pelon, Oasis, or any other state or wherever the case we will be, where we are. Point of doing this is so that we can create a consular post, and due to that consular post, we will be afforded diplomatic immunity. So meaning when we're carrying out our consular immunity activities or consular post activities, such as traveling as private mail carriers and transporting documents from place to place, having affairs of national affairs of ambassador activities and things of that nature, interfacing with other nations, we are not to be harassed, detained, stopped, or anything of that nature when we're participating in these activities. And that's what you call diplomatic immunity, and not just that, but that's a form of diplomatic immunity as far as you being sovereign in your own capacity. And I say as a nation, we can acquire these things and apply these things to us as a nation. And if you type on, no, it's not the particular one I'm looking for. Oh yeah, and another one too, the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations. This is another document you can look up as well. And study as well. It's called the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations, 1963. That was the next one I was going to look up. And as you see, they have articles. And these articles kind of define how they exercise consular functions. Chapter 3 says Article 3, exercise of consular functions, establishment of a consular post. So it tells you how to establish a consular post, the consular functions, what exactly are the consular functions, like what do you do as a consulate? Research this. Look at all these different articles. You know what I'm saying? It's so much for me to, read the whole thing right now. But I'm bringing up this information for you all to look into and to start nation building. You know what I'm saying? Start adding on. If everyone in the nation at one time, which a lot of times is basically kind of never going to happen. Not everybody in the nation is going to come together in one plane of thought all at one time. So it may take certain people within the nation to get something started, so we can present this to the nation and say, listen, this is what we have started, and everyone in the nation is welcome to add on as a nation. You know what I mean? But if you're just going to be a naysayer, being lazy, not sitting back, not researching, not doing the knowledge to anything, not adding on as a nation as far as nation building, but you always got something to say about what those who are building, those who are doing the research, like how many people are actually looking up consular, the Vienna Convention on consular affairs of that nature? How many people are even thinking in the mentality to organize a consul, a consulate, a consular government, a consular post? And that's not to, point fingers or anything like that, but it's just to point out a reality. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be so that's why I also made that invite for the naysayers, those who got something to say. Now cipher God, that ain't this, and now cipher God, this and that, and now cipher God, blah 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 blah. Now cipher to you, with your lazy ass, with your non-productive ass, with your not building ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you building? What are you adding on? You know what I'm saying? And I say that, you know what I'm saying, because it needs to be said. You know what I'm saying? Just like when I know I said some things that some gods and earths may not have liked because of the manner in which it was spoken, but truth is truth. And you might see some people grilling from afar, but they ain't gonna come up and say nothing. And thank you for letting me know that I'm the piece with the magnetic, as you grill from afar, but as a grown-ass man or a grown-ass woman, you won't even come to me and say what's on your mind. And not like you got to come in a confrontational manner. I'm not asking for drama, never that. But I'm asking for people to be open-minded. I'm asking for people to speak up for themselves. I'm asking for people to be real and stop hiding behind a damn keyboard. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who's seen any of my posts that I put up there recently, y'all all saw me at the Show and Prove. Y'all all saw me right there in front of a law school. Ain't nobody hiding. Y'all know my face. Y'all know what I look like. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody wanted to say anything to me pertaining to anything, y'all could say whatever it is that you want to say. You want to build, you want to add on, you want to destroy, whatever it is you want to do. We can do that. And we can add on. And more so, I say I build because it's more about construction more than destruction. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm here, God. There's nobody running. I'm not running from anything that I say. And anything that I say, anything that I post, you best believe, part of self, we don't believe. You best know and understand and master the fact that anything that I put up there, I'm gonna be able to back it up. I would never put anything posted to the whole world that I wouldn't be able to back up.